Hey guys, it's Scott. In this video, we'll take a look at four horses I'm going to completely eliminate from my tickets in the 2023 Kentucky Derby. And there's actually probably a couple more that I'm leaning towards eliminating, but I'll just stick with the four for now. And we're going to start with the first horse. That's going to be Lord Miles. And Lord Miles won the Wood Memorial, but I don't think very much of that horse. He did get a late closing third in the Mucho Macho Man, but he didn't run that great in the Holy Bull or the Tampa Derby. And he got to the Wood Memorial, and I didn't think that field was turned up very good at all. And it took all I could do to get down to the wire to win the race. But in the Derby, the water's going to get a little bit deeper. You got, Forte, Tap It Trice, Practical Move, Dermasoda Gake, all them other horses like that, King's Barnes. And I don't see Lord Miles being able to turn the table on those horses like that. He's going to have to improve leaps and bounds. And I'm not even sure that this 100 for the Equibase Speed Fair for the Wood Memorial is even, accurate. I just thought they didn't run a very good race at all. And I'll be willing to bet that when Derby comes, Lord Miles is not going to run a very good race in the Kentucky Derby. And for that, he's going to be left off my tickets. And the second horse I'm going to get into for the race is going to be Hit Show. And, Hit Show kind of came out the same thing, out of the Wood Memorial. And he did win the Wither Stakes. He's trained by Brad Cox, but this ain't the Brad Cox horse that I really want to put my money on. I'm leaning towards maybe like Angel Empire or somebody like that. But nonetheless, horses typically come run the Wood Memorial haven't done so great when it comes to the Derby. Uh, Irish Warcraft faded all the way. Been a Rustin do great. Tassis, I think, got in the Superfecta in 2019, and then Bourbonic pulled that massive upset in was it 2021, I believe it was. And then Mo Donegal last year, he was him and the Chad Brown horse, Xandon was probably the two best, horses coming from the Aqueduct circuit that I think we've seen in recent memory. Is Mo Donegal wound up winning the Belmont, but didn't race after that. But I don't think these horses this year are quite on that talent level. And for that, I'm not going to back this Brad Cox horse, and I just don't see a scenario where he winds up getting in the top four this year. I think he's way below some of these other top horses. And the third horse we're going to talk about is Jace's Road, also trained by Brad Cox, and he did win the Gun Runner Stakes. This horse is if it rains on Churchill Downs on that day, then I'm really not going to bet him. This horse has shown twice that he really does not like a sloppy track. And if you follow the Kentucky Derby through the years, you know that this time of year that Churchill has a high probability of being rainy, on Kentucky Derby day. So for that alone is if there's any type of moisture in the track, I'm not going to bet Jason's Road. And then in the Louisiana Derby, he got a good track, and he was chasing Kings Barnes around the track, and I thought the pace was really slow for the race, and it's kind of everything going their own way, turning for home, and he allowed Dishorn to come up through the rail and pass him, and I still thought Jason Roche should have finished second in that race, given the pace of the race, him being up there on it. I expected more of the gun runner stakes type, effort, but he didn't do it, and I don't see him being able to turn the tables. I think if anything, the pace is more likely to be quicker than slower in the Kentucky Derby, and I already think the pace is already, going to be, average to maybe a tad bit slow, just given what's signed on, but there's always a chance that a couple horses could, get into it and start speeding away in the Derby. But that being said, I just don't see any scenarios that line up where he can turn the tables on these horses and be able to fire one effort. And there's plenty more horses I like better to get in the superfecta. And the last horse is Wild on Ice, and Wild on Ice, I might remember that big long shot that won the Sunland Park Derby. And this horse or this race in particular has not really produced good results when it comes to Kentucky Derby. Fire and Line was probably the best horse that really came out of it. Slow Down Andy was kind of a goofy horse last year. Cut and Humor by Pletch didn't really do anything. Same for Runaway Ghosts. These horses, that usually come in this race are a cut below the, rest of them. So, that being said, I'm going to say that when the real horses start running this race, Wild on Ice won't be around to, win, even though, a lot of people may, like him for that, long shot and they want to, it's kind of weird because sometimes you see a long shot win that people want to bet the long shot after, you kind of miss the party. So, I can see some of that happening on, Kentucky Derby Day, but still, he gives me a very hot horse. And, I don't see him able to run with these, better horses this year. And that's for somebody playing against for the 2023 Kentucky Derby. And thanks for watching, guys.